Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's Debsy, and the place to be, it's Debsy. Bloop, bloop, that's me. Boop, Debsy. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Happy Thursday. I hope everybody is having a great day. If not a great day, then at least a good day. This video almost didn't happen. The reason why is because I was sitting in my room on my bed, getting changed into my pajamas, went to stand up, and the back of my left knee just was it. Like, I couldn't put any weight on it, and there was a lot of pain. So if you didn't know, I have osteoarthritis. In my right knee, I had a meniscus tear a couple years ago. I hope this is not the same. I don't know if you can see it. You can't see it, but see this? Yeah. That's what we're using now to get around the house. So I'm going to see what it's like in the morning, and if it's not any better, I mean, it's a little bit better than it was. I went down the steps on my butt to take a shower. Luckily, there is a chair in there, and that helped a little bit, getting some hot water on it, but I don't know. We'll see. I almost wasn't going to make this, but then I was like, no, we got to make this. We got to soldier on through these videos. So let's get to meat and potatoes of what this is about. This is not about the back of my knee. This is about a recap and rant of last night's Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. There's a lot to unpack, so we're going to get to it because this includes the weed dinner party from hell. So first off, we had Dorit, Crystal, and Kyle. They were at Kyle's house. They all got together for, I don't think there was any lunch. They didn't need anything, but talk quickly turned to none other than Sutton. Of course. Kyle reenacted Sutton's reenactment again, and it was even more ridiculous than Sutton's reenactment of what Erica did. She had said that, Kyle said that Sutton seems to think it was all a setup, which Dorit was like, it's not, but it's not. She's crazy. There's no way it could have been. There's absolutely a way it could have been, because they were in the upper floor. There's only probably one elevator that goes that way. I would not be surprised if it was a setup, if Erica didn't text Mikey or Mikey didn't text Erica and be like, hey, we're coming, be out there at the elevator. So they seem to think it's not possible. I think it's possible. That led to the discussion of Kyle saying that Sutton is just all over the place. Something is off with her. Now listen, I'm not a fan of Dorit lately. However, her imitation of Sutton was kind of spot on. But they were saying, why is she off? What's going on with her? Then they said, well, she's probably drinking. They insinuated that she has a drinking problem. And Crystal brought up a good point. Crystal's like, listen, in the confessional, she's saying, all of a sudden, Kyle's sober, and she's like the expert on drinking, and they're suddenly being all judgy. That's absolutely true. Kyle doesn't like it when people are getting on her about not drinking, and here she is pushing this narrative that Sutton has a drinking problem. Also, they really didn't like it when Garcelle came for Erica last year. When Erica was drinking and mixing medications, they got on Garcelle like crazy about that. And they couldn't even see that Erica was doing it. Everybody could see that Erica was doing it. They didn't have a problem with Erica doing it last year, and they were upset somebody called Erica out on it. But now here they are doing it to Sutton. No. I'm not, no. And then Kyle says, I really do care about her. No, you don't. You really don't. You're not a friend to Sutton. Sutton and Garcelle go out to lunch. Now listen, I'm going to start off right this. The shade alert, there is a new, I don't know if I want to say shade assassin. There's a shade assassin junior. I mean, shade assassin junior to Kenya's. listen, when they were talking about the jewelry, and then Garcelle out of nowhere, because they were talking about Kyle's new sapphire ring. Fancy Drew Sutton was like, I've never seen it. It's something new and this and that. Garcelle says, and I quote, the only time I noticed jewelry, let's see, wait a minute. She says, the only time I noticed jewelry was when after the robbery, Dorit still had hers. And she played it straight face. She didn't break. She didn't do nothing. Once again, the only time I noticed jewelry was after the robbery. Dorit still had hers. Now, people online are like, oh, she's a gangster confessional, but she's not going to bring it during the reunion. I beg to differ. I think it's definitely going to be brought up during the reunion. Dorit's probably scripting some kind of response. Garcelle's not one to run. Garcelle's not going to run from that. She's going to bring it during the reunion. Sutton, once again, Sutton had brought up this ring. And Garcelle had wondered if maybe it's a makeup ring. What's a makeup ring? A makeup ring is when your husband or your boyfriend or whatever cheats on you, messes up, and then he buys a big diamond ring. For example, God rest his soul, but does everybody remember when Kobe Bryant cheated on his wife and bought her that huge diamond ring? That's a makeup ring. We find out later that like Camille's ex dirtbag husband bought her like a car. Yeah, it's a makeup ring. So that's what they're thinking. And Garcelle seems to think that maybe Sutton has hit a nerve when she mentioned that Kyle, maybe something is going on in Kyle's life now that she's like exercising a lot. She's not drinking. I don't know. She might have hit a nerve there. Next up was Erica and her talent agent, her talent manager. So, and at the start of this scene, Erica dropped the bomb that, well, I don't know if it was a bomb, but she dropped the fact that she fired her publicist that she had last year. The same publicist that worked with Nikki Hilton. Remember, there was that discussion of like, who is leaking all of this information? And they had said, we heard it was a rumor that it's your publicist, Erica. And Erica and Rinna were like, I don't understand that. Why would he do that? What would he do? Why would he need to do that? But listen, for real though, Crystal mentioned it before. Last year there were leaks. Lisa Rinna was there. This year there's no leaks. Who's not here? Lisa Rinna. And I'm not missing her, by the way. So getting back to Erica, Erica's talent manager had said, listen, to rebuild this and to rebuild your image, you really need to take accountability and you need to show a sense of self-awareness. She had said she's doing all of this, and her talent manager was like, I assume that you would like to get back to performing. She's like, yes, of course. I would love to be performing again for those tens of 15s of fans. I would like to make a connection with the audience. I need some money. She says, fine, I will put some feelers out there. I will make sure that I get you a residency at the Chili Side Stage in Vegas. I mean, tickets might be sold for $1. They might be sold for $7, but we're going to get you that. Now, listen, I'm going to have to check into this, but I've heard a couple times that she's going to have a spinoff. A spinoff of what? Because, listen, I like this year, she is better than she was last year, but this scene kind of made me wonder, like, is she apologizing and is she doing all of this, like, stepping back and not, like, jumping in and causing drama because she wants to try to rebuild her tarnished image? Maybe. That's what I'm kind of thinking. I'm liking that she's doing all of it, but I don't know. There's still probably a lot of people that are not going to want to work with her based on how she reacted last year. It was not a good look last year. I understand that there was, legally she couldn't say a lot of things, but she really came off very uncaring and not empathetic and not sympathetic at all. So I don't know. I mean, good luck to her. We'll see. Next up was Garcelle and her son, Jax. They went to dinner. I really enjoyed this scene. And I'm going to tell you what, above all, listen, Garcelle has done a phenomenal job with both of her sons. They're twins. They're different personalities, and she sees now that she has to take a different approach to each one of them. And she carves out time with Jax, time with Jade, time with Oliver, and she's doing such a phenomenal job. But my heart really broke for her whenever Jax was telling the story that, because he had said, I know that what happened, the divorce happened because of what my father did, and I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at you. You know, you did what you had to do. But Jax knew, he said he knew what his father was doing when he was 8. He went online and he read it. And that kind of broke my heart, because to see Garcelle so upset because she said, I did my best to shield them from what was going on. And Jax is such a well-spoken, articulate, just such a well-rounded young man, just so emotionally stable. And she really did do just a fantastic job raising her sons. And next up was this scene and the very last scene. So Kyle went to the tattoo shop. I don't know why Kyle, when she walked in, she had to all of a sudden be like, I didn't tell my husband that I was coming here. Don't tell him. I didn't tell my husband. Why? The way that she acted, that Kyle acted around Mauricio in this episode, was almost like a teenage daughter who is rebelling against her father, who says, I don't want you to get any more tattoos. And she's like, screw it. I'm going to get a tattoo, but I'm going to sneak out. That's what that gave me. Well, this is the first time that we met Morgan Wade. So Morgan comes in, and I'm just going to say, this was interesting. The vibe that I got from those two, I'm not buying just friends. That's all I'm saying. I'm not buying just friends. She was like, people are confused by our friendship. Well, yeah. I mean, this didn't help that. Like, this didn't help clarify the situation at all. I mean, Kyle was acting they were both flirty, but Kyle was kind of like a little crush. I don't know. It was giving me very like Danielle Staub and Lori Michaels deal. You remember when they were on like Watch What Happens Live and they were singing that Close to You song? It was giving me vibes like that. And listen, I thought about this, but she really better not get upset. Kyle better not get upset at people for being like, thinking maybe something is going on between them. Because listen, few seasons ago, when Denise Richards was on and Brandon Glanville comes on and is like, me and Denise Richards had a thing. And who did Kyle believe? Sure as shit, Kyle believed Brandy. Kyle believed Brandy. So don't. If somebody's like, oh, well, there's these rumors, I think I might believe them. Don't you dare get pissed at them, Kyle, because you did the same thing. You did not take your friend Denise Richards' word for it. You took Brandy Glanville's. Who's a trash bag? Kyle was saying that she had heard Morgan's a couple of her songs, and said, who's this girl with the voice and these lyrics? I got to meet her. And then she found out she is also, she's been sober for like 6 years, Morgan, and she just has tattoos. She does what she wants to do. Nobody, she doesn't care what anybody thinks. And she was taken by that. And she had stalked her. She said what was it? The tattoo artist who, listen, that tattoo artist, Andy Cohen needs to have him on Watch What Happens Live. I need the tea from that session. But he says, well, how did you two meet? And Morgan says, she stalked me. Her accent was a little too thick at times, sometimes. She stalked me. Okay. And then she said, well, I wanted to get her attention. Why? Listen, I'm going to tell you, there's something going on there between those two, but also there's part of me that thinks, like, wait a minute, maybe these two are using each other. To be honest with you, I feel like something is up with this Morgan. I feel like she might be using Kyle for a career boost. And maybe Kyle could quite possibly maybe be using her for a storyline to maybe throw kind of the scent off of her marriage. I don't know. That's always a possibility. She goes in and gets Kyle goes in to get a tattoo, a little planet. Yeah, planet. I think it was Saturn right there on her like here. You can't see it, but I'm pointing here. And Morgan goes in, holds her hand. I'm telling you, it wasn't a normal kind of friend thing. It just wasn't. So after that, Kyle goes back to Mauricio's, to home. Mauricio's there. I'm telling you, it was awkward. Like I said, it was giving me like teenage daughter pissing off her dad. It to me seemed like she was purposely trying to piss him off. So she goes in. He's like, "Oh, I got my book. Or you didn't read it yet, did you?" She's like, "No." And the producer was like, "Why didn't you read it?" She said she's not going to read that book. I'm going to tell you what, she's checked out of this marriage. She has straight up checked on out. She shows him the tattoo and he's like, well, she said, "Oh, I got it somewhere where no one's going to be able to see it." Well, except for everybody that you show on national TV. And he says, "Well, I hope I get to see it often." And she was just like, See, she checked out. She has checked out. Now there is another, I had heard this kind of take on the situation. But when she showed it to him, now apparently this was that same day, she showed him the tattoo and the tattoo was not covered, which is kind of odd because it was right there where her jeans would hit, where like her jeans would hit right there, the waistband. And when she had showed him, that tattoo was fully healed. It did not look like a fresh tattoo. So was this something that was reshot? Like did the producers say, "Hey, we gotta get you back in to reshoot this"? I'm wondering. Next up was Sutton and the matchmaker and Dorit. So Sutton had her matchmaker come over in Dorit. I'm going to tell you, my favorite part of this whole scene was the shade that Avi was throwing. Like the matchmaker walks in, he's like, "Oh great, she's here and she's bubbly." And then that comment to Sutton, he's like, "You look beautiful. Your dress finally fits." And then to Dorit, "Oh, you're not gonna knock then?" And she's like, "No, I'm just gonna come in." My favorite, like I said, this whole thing was Avi. Avi throwing the shade was my favorite. But hold up, because there was a little bit of a junior ninja shade throughout this whole episode with Sutton. Because Sutton had said, if Dorit can fall in love with PK, maybe I shouldn't be so picky. From what I understand, PK is throwing shade at Sutton on Twitter possibly, or X, whatever. I guess they're calling it X. I call it Twitter. I thought this whole thing was fake. Because she's like, my friend Dorit. Dorit is not your friend. Dorit is talking about you behind your back. Dorit was just over canoodling with Kyle and Crystal, but mostly Kyle. Kyle was trying to make sure that she pushes that narrative out on everybody so that Crystal can then get out there and push it about her supposedly drinking a lot. I just honestly feel like maybe the producers were like, hey, listen, call Dorit up and have her coming over. And the whole time Dorit trying to throw like shade in on her, like you're not self-aware, you're snippy and you blow up at people, and going over all these faults. I didn't like this. I didn't like this at all. I thought it was fake. I thought it was Dorit being fake. You don't give a shit about Sutton. You don't. You care about Kyle. That's it. Next up was listen. Kyle was getting ready for her weed dinner party, and she called Morgan on FaceTime. We find out that Kyle tattooed a K on Morgan. First off, Kyle is not a tattoo artist. Kyle does not know how to use a tattoo gun. First of all, if I were an owner of a tattoo shop and she was like, can I tattoo my friend? I would say absolutely not. Are you insured? Am I insured to have you operating this? And then if something goes wrong, she can sue? No, you are not. No, I'm not being liable for none of this shit. And if somebody who was not a tattoo artist was like, I'm going to tattoo you, I'd say absolutely not. Because listen, on the after party, Sutton said the same thing. She's like, who would let somebody come at them with a tattoo pen? She's like, if my friend were saying, I'm going to tattoo you, I would say, no, get away from me. That's exactly right. So she tattooed a K on her arm. Now, on the after party, how Kyle explained it was that she wanted to do a tattoo on Morgan. Morgan said fine, and she said she was going to draw like a pumpkin, for like Halloween, because she was in Halloween, but she doesn't know how to draw a pumpkin, so she just did K. And then if Morgan wants to put something after it, like spell it out to say koala or something, then you can. I don't know, but all the ladies were like, listen, I wouldn't do that. Even the new girl, Anne Marie, who we found out it looks like is going to be Kyle's parrot, had said, I wouldn't even put my husband's name on there. Good, you shouldn't, because from everything that I hear in these rumors, I wouldn't be doing that either. Okay, next up was Kyle's weed dinner. This is what we're gonna be waiting for, because I believe this is going to be 2 or 3 episodes, possibly 2 or 3 episodes, at least 2 episodes. So, who do we have at this party? We got the morally corrupt Faye Resnick, we have Denise Richards, and we have Camille. This is going to be interesting. We also meet, and we have Cynthia Bailey coming in as, I believe they said Cynthia Sutton's friend. So she came in with Sutton. I hope Cynthia says more. I like Cynthia. She was always very classy. And we did meet the new housewife. It's Anna Marie Wiley. Anna Marie's husband used to play in the NFL. There has been some charges brought against him, allegedly for rape. That's all I'm going to say. Allegedly, yeah. And apparently, I have not seen this, but I had heard that there were some transphobic tweets or something that they had put out. I'm going to have to check further into that. However, Anna Marie come in. Before anybody even arrived, Kyle brought up the fact that, hey, listen, Sutton's making a lot about me working out. And Anna Marie was like, I work out 6 or 7 days a week. And Faye was like, imagine that. I can't believe that people are trying to be healthier, the ones that are getting made fun of and blah, blah, this and that. Now, doesn't Camille show up? Weren't the producers right on it, replaying that clip of Alison Dubois and her electronic cigarette saying, he will never emotionally fulfill you. When your children are older, you will have nothing in common. He will not fulfill you. Listen, she was not wrong. We all thought when it was happening, and you're crazy, these two are in love. She's right. Was she wrong? She was not wrong. So here comes Cynthia and Crystal show up, and once again, Kyle had to poke the bear on that. This is the one who I was telling you about. So Crystal is not a fan of Anne-Marie. Crystal says she likes to talk a lot, and bitch is nosy. Sutton shaded her dress, but honestly, we have seen that dress several times. We've seen it on her. We've seen it on Erica last year. We saw it on Danielle Cabral from Housewives of New Jersey last season. That dress makes its rounds. And Denise, listen, Denise said she wasn't going to be taking any weed in her, any cannabis in her food. She was looped. She was definitely on something, which, to be honest with you, I was excited to hear that Denise is coming back, but then you have Denise show up like that. It was disappointing, is all I'm saying. Sutton and Kyle go in the other room and talk. Sutton tells her, and Kyle says, listen, you were off when we talked. She said, well, there's a reason why I was off. I had just spoken to Christian. That's her ex-husband. He got a promotion. He's going to be moving to London. He said, you're coming with me, and so is James. That's their son. And she said, I'm not. And I'm not going to London. You're not taking my son. So that was playing out. She then had said that it's been worked out. He's going. I'm having full custody of James, and my child support is going up. Well, Kyle was like, well, what are you talking about? I mean, why is that bad? Now, listen, I can see where she's like, how is getting extra money bad? But here's the thing. When she was talking to you, that may not have been worked out. It may have still been when she was talking to you that James was going to have to leave. So that's why she was getting upset about it. But Kyle immediately jumped on her. I'm seeing that Kyle can really never have her back. She could have been more supportive about this. And then Kyle says, well, the reason why I say this is because you have a history of making up excuses when there's odd situations. I mean, she's not 100% wrong. I don't know. She could have been a little bit more supportive. Sutton says Kyle's not being honest with her personal life. And Kyle asks her, well, what are you talking about? Or why don't you just say it? Listen, here's my opinion. I think Kyle wants Sutton to be the first one to say it so that she doesn't have to. That's what I'm thinking. And Kyle says to her, well, you've just been off. I don't know if it's your foot medication or what the hell would that have to do with it? If your foot medication or your drinking. Once again, she didn't like it when people came for Erica last year when Erica was doing that. But now she's okay coming for Sutton, saying that's what she's doing. No, ma'am. So with that, Sutton is out. Crystal came in to see what was going on, and Crystal had said, "Listen, Crystal was not wrong when she said you both do the same thing to one another. She's not wrong. They get out there for dinner. Crystal starts working a little bit to get her, to keep her diamond, by saying, hey, listen, you guys were yelling at each other in there and you guys just need to talk about it. So Sidon said, listen, I told you some information in there, very personal information, and you laughed about it and you hurt my feelings. And she said, I'm being honest about my life, but Kyle's just not. And Kyle kept saying, well, say it. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Finally, thank God someone said it. It was Garcelle, because Garcelle was like, your marriage. We're talking about your marriage. That's what it is. Really? Erica was like, really? Yeah, really. Listen, you all have heard the rumors, okay? So that's when Kyle goes real low. And she says, well, I don't mention anything about you're not eating. That's low. And that's pretty gross, because this is a person she just put out there that she thinks Sutton has an ED. This coming from someone who had an ED. Would she want somebody saying that about her? And Crystal is at the table. Crystal is dealing with an ED. That was gross that she had to go that far and say that. Would she want somebody to do that to her? Probably not. Would she want somebody to do that to her friend Crystal? No, she would not. If I was Sutton, I would be pissed at that. So Garcelle brings up talk about the new ring, the sapphire ring. Was it a makeup ring? Kyle says, no, it wasn't. I bought it for myself. I bought that for myself. And then she says, and then Kyle says, are you asking if my husband is cheating on me? And that's why he bought this for me. Are you saying my husband cheating? Girl, listen. It's been a rumor for many seasons. This is not the first season that this has come to light. There's been talk about Mauricio cheating a lot. It's all over the place. Everybody has heard on social media or knows somebody who knows somebody. Come on. Yeah, he'd been cheating on you, okay? You can believe it, you cannot believe it. I tend to believe it because it's not just 1 or 2 or 3 times that you've heard it. I've read all over the place that man's cheated all over the place, okay? So, like Garcelle said, Garcelle's like, listen, she's trying to deflect from the elephant in the room. We don't really care so much about the ring as we care about what is going on in your marriage. That's what we need to do. Because listen, she gets up there and she asks everybody else about what's going on in their marriage. Everybody else has spilled beans on what's going on in their marriage. But she don't. Nope. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. You guys feel it too. So next week, this continues. It kind of pissed me off that it said continued next week. I wish this whole show would just been about that. The dinner party, the weed party. So in the comments, let me know what you thought of this episode. On a scale of 1 to 10, honestly, I'm giving it a 9. I thought it was very good. So let me know what you thought. I have 4 minutes until the Golden Bachelor in Paradise, the Golden Bachelor finale. So we're going to get to that. But if nobody told you yet today, I love you. You're loved, seen, and heard. Please make sure that you put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, positivity, and understanding out there. A lot. And what else? Take care of one another and do 2 things. Please be aware of your surroundings and please stay safe. I will see you guys tomorrow and I love you guys. Bye.